Myself a 3 coffee per day max. A 3 coffee per day max, and I'm already at 2, so I'm going to save my third coffee for when I really want it. But my name is Yannick. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Friday's Coffee Talk. Today's coffee talk is about breaking the cycles of low expectations. Okay, so if you came here and you just wanted a little simple boom, 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 this ain't it. This is for people who really want to grow, want to really get something out of a live stream, really want to learn. And this is just my way of pouring back into people. And so thank you guys so much for joining. Go ahead and like the live, share it with a few people. This is something that is a very important conversation. This is a very important conversation. And this is a conversation for those of you who want to be accountable, who want to see yourself grow, who don't want to be stuck in the same place. This is for those of y'all who are tired of feeling like your life doesn't have purpose. If you're tired of feeling like you're stuck, if you're tired of just the same old, you want something different, but you don't know how to get something different, this is 1000% for you. Okay. Now, if you're coming here now, it's going to be an entertaining conversation. But if you're just looking to veg out on something, if you're looking for content that you could just escape from, something that will keep you distracted from the realities of life, the realities of your situation, this ain't for you. Go ahead and keep scrolling, friend. Go ahead and keep scrolling because we're talking about something that's very serious, but also it's going to be very helpful. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know, I have really seen a lot of results with working with this and talking about this topic with my clients. And the reason I'm bringing it to you guys, and if you've never been to my live before, you've never been to my page before, my name is Yannick. I am an executive coach, and I specifically work with sales teams and companies with sales reps, direct sales reps. And what I do is I help them to make more money. Now, this isn't about sales reps or anything like that, or sales or anything. But one thing that I do notice is if I see something that has been a trend amongst my clients, I know it's a trend amongst you all. Why? I have clients and participants from California, New York City, Florida, Ohio, Atlanta, Minnesota, some are in Canada, from all over the place. And regardless of the country, regardless of the city, regardless of what they're selling, who they are, their background, ethnic background, man, woman, all of that, I'm seeing the same thing, which is a culture of low expectations. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you get set up to where in life, you're not expecting for anything different, the problem is that you don't get anything different. And the scary part is, as I was doing this diagnosis amongst my clients and their employees and things of that nature, what I realized was most of them had no idea that they had stopped dreaming. They had no idea that their expectations have lowered over the year. that they stopped dreaming, they stopped wanting for more, they stopped wishing for more, they stopped doing all of those different things. They had no idea. Meaning, not realizing it, they were showing up to work every day, showing up to their businesses every day, doing all these things, not even recognizing that they'd stopped dreaming. And so, what I'm going to talk to you guys about is very similar to what I talked to them about. The beautiful thing is, you guys are getting this information for free. All right. Which is breaking the cycle of low expectations. Here's the thing. If you don't dream for anything, and if you don't, I'm going to say it the Southern way. I'm going to say it the professional way, then I'm going to say it the Southern way. The professional way is if you stop dreaming, it's likely that you're not going anywhere. The Southern way is if you don't want nothing, it's very likely that you don't have nothing. And this is very, very important because we're living in a time to where we're being given every reason why we shouldn't dream. Every reason why. Oh, it's the economy, there's layoffs, there's this or that. If you are looking for reasons why you shouldn't have to put forth any effort, you shouldn't have to try to dream, you shouldn't have to do anything, you find it. Every time you log on to these apps, they tell you exactly why you should stop dreaming. Exactly why. And so we have to combat that because you have to have a compelling destination in mind to find the motivation to keep moving forward. And we can't afford for any of you guys to just stop moving. And so this is something that keeps coming up in my development sessions, in my discovery calls with potential clients, conversations with friends, family, people in the community, social media, in my ministry, is that people are getting stuck mentally, emotionally, financially. Thank you. God bless you. Financially, physically, not because they lack the capacity. It's because low expectations have crept in. They no longer expect for great things to happen. And there's a few reasons why this happens. So first off, if this is you, stay in here because I'm going to show you how you got to this place and how you're going to fix it, how you're going to get out of it. Why? Because there's a lot of different reasons why this happens. And we're going to explore both the cause and the solution. Why is this important? Human beings are creators. We're creators. We have to be able to see a bigger picture in order to create. We create families, we create communities, we create businesses, we create relationships, we everything that we do. We create art, shows, movies, nails, hair. Human beings are creators. And so when you develop low expectations, you stop creating. So before we move forward, because I'm going to go to the first main point, which is burnout and disappointment. But before we get to the next main point, if you are ready, hello, what's up, Brooke Dale? If you are ready to get into the place where you're creating again and you have motivation again, you got the willpower again, I want you to put in the chat, me. And the second thing I want you to do is share this live with the last 4 people you spoke with. Here's the thing. Most of the time, you guys are going to be like, oh, no, the people around me are doing fine. They're not. We are in a place in social media where people learn how to project an image that they're doing well, although they are not. So everybody looks like they're doing fine. But the truth of the matter is they're not. Brooke says, me, good. So like the live, continue to like, share it. We're going to go through this. So we're going to talk about how we got here. One of the main things that keeps people from dreaming and having low expectations is one, burnout and disappointment. Consistent disappointments. Some of y'all, all of y'all are like, oh my gosh, friend, you got to stop telling me I look like Gayle King. I don't look like Gayle King. We just both got a vibe. Y'all, do I look like Gayle King? I don't think I look like Gayle King, but I do look like my daddy. Okay. So there you go. So burnout and disappointment. Here's the thing. Sometimes you've been at something for years. You've been trying the business for years. You've been trying the relationship for years. You've been trying to, date for years. You have been at this thing for years. And sometimes when you've been at something for years and you've been trying for years, you just get tired of fighting and grinding. You get tired of pushing. TJ said, years, years. I know, y'all, friend, you're not alone. And like, we're not going to just talk about the problem. We're going to get into some of the solutions. Okay. The second reason that you end up developing low expectations is repeated disappointment. Let's talk about it. The people who didn't work out, the betrayal, the investments that didn't work out. Maybe you didn't make the money you thought you were going to make. Maybe the relationship didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. You know, it could even be you want to get back in the church. The church didn't go the way you want to go. You moved to a certain state. You're like, you know what? I've been going at this for a while. I'm going to move to a different state. Maybe it's maybe I need a move. Maybe I need this or that. Whatever that thing is, next thing you know, you get in it and it was just as bad. It was just as bad. Jeff said, yeah, amen. Y'all, but if you've experienced that, say that was me. It happened to me. Okay. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. What ends up happening is you say, why bother? Things never work out anyway. Or you stop putting in the effort because at least you could say, well, at least I didn't put all my energy into it because it never works out anyway. Or you just say, I don't have the energy for this anymore. And so what happens is you start reacting to things instead of getting strategic. You go into the business and you're just like, look, let's just see what happens. I'm going to do what I need to do. You turn your business into a job. You turn the relationship and just into another thing that you do. You start creating, but it's not really from that place of inspiration. It's like, let me just get this thing done. And you start letting things happen and you just get used to putting out fires. Why? Because you like The Walking Dead. Let me just put this fire out. Let me put this fire out, right? Instead of setting the fires. Setting fires ain't always a bad thing. When you're in it, you're like, we're going to turn this thing out. But you just get used to setting, you just get used to putting out the fires. So you start getting reactive instead of strategic. Or you start protecting yourself by expecting less. It's a defense mechanism. Look, when I had really, really high expectations, I got this disappointment, that disappointment, or whatever. And then eventually it ends up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. You stop attracting good people. You stop attracting great opportunities. You stop putting forth the real effort. You stop getting creative because you're no longer creating an environment that invites great people. So I'll give you guys an example. I have a hummingbird feeder on my back porch. And one of the things that if you want to create an environment that attracts hummingbirds, you have to put sweet stuff out there. Sweet smelling flowers, sugar water, hummingbird. And if you ever go and they try to sell you hummingbird juice, all it is sugar water, just plain white sugar water, just straight up sucrose. Why? Because hummingbirds, they like sweet things. So next thing you know, you go through disappointments, you lower your expectations. Next thing you know, things start getting dead. You're burnt out. You're not doing the same things that you were doing before. You know, oh, someone's calling my business, but we're going to have to call them back. So, you know, you stop doing the things that you were doing before. And then next thing you know, things start getting dead. Well, guess who likes dead things? Guess. Crows, vultures. So over time, you pulling back and expecting disappointment turns into a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're not pouring life into that thing. And because you're not pouring life into it, you're not being intentional about attracting hummingbirds and putting sweet things and great things in there. You're attracting crows and vultures. And if you want a lot of crows around your house, put some trash out there. Put some trash out there, something that stank. If you want to attract vultures, put some dead stuff out there. Something that smells like it's just been sitting out dying for a long period of time. And let me tell you one thing that you have to think about when it comes to disappointment. There are things in the forms of disappointment. Y'all write this down. This is a bar that were not good to you, that were good for you. And there are a lot of times where there were disappointments that were not good to you, but they were good for you, friend. You needed to go through that to grow. You needed to go through that to mature. You needed to go through that to learn a life lesson, to get that type of experience. Point number 2, this is how you get to the point where you have low expectations, is exposure or lack thereof. You've either been exposed to too much failure or what was perceived as failure, or you've never seen that level of success before. So you've just never seen it before. Now, this is what I find in organizations and why I've been putting a heavy amount of focus on this within my company, is because either people have never seen that level of excellence before, so they don't go after it, or guess what? When everyone else around you is settling, it becomes the norm. You don't even realize they're settling. You're just like, oh, this is what people do. Oh, okay, cool. You get used to robbing Peter to pay Paul. You get used to mediocrity. You just get used to shooting for average. Or you end up comparing yourself to what's average instead of who's thriving. Y'all, when I'm telling you, this is usually a 9 out of 9 times, 10 out of 10 times when I'm working with a person, an organization, a leader, a ministry group, whatever that thing is, right? I ask themselves, what does success look like for you? And most of the time, they point towards the averages, what the average in the industry is, what the average other organization's doing, the average person, average, 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 average. And so they start comparing their own performance to the averages instead of the industry leaders. They're looking at who's average versus who's thriving. And then next thing you know, they end up benchmarking mediocrity. And then they wonder why this thing doesn't grow. You can't benchmark mediocrity and then expect growth at the same time. And then when you benchmark mediocrity or the averages, that becomes your ceiling. Which gets me to my next point. This isn't going to be a very, very long live stream. We're going to get to it and we're going to get to the solutions. What's up, Spencer? Number 3, the naysayers. Culture of low expectations is filled with naysayers. And this is the scary part. If you're surrounded by naysayers, eventually you become one. And you just do it to the next generation. The first thing is understanding that misery loves company. No one wants to feel alone. And people love the path of least resistance. They love it. We as human beings, we love the path of least resistance. Whatever isn't going to give us too much work. Like every day I have to force myself to work out. Why? Because my bed feels better. The couch feels better. Eating feels better. Working out is actual resistance training. I don't like doing it. And I have to force myself to do that because my natural inclination is to sit around. So instead of pushing higher and getting uncomfortable, typically we'll just do what's easy. And a naysayer doesn't want to be alone in that. Because if they can get you to also settle and to have low expectations, now they're not alone in their corner. And sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it. As human beings, we murmur and complain so much that it becomes a form of communication. Many naysayers don't even realize that complaining has become a communication style. Negativity, expecting the worst, expecting doom, all of these things, fear, anxiety, they do it so much that it's become a communication style. It's not even something they think about anymore. It's a rote behavior. They have no idea that they're doing it. And they don't even realize that they're killing the aspirations of the people around them. Why? How does that happen? Every single one of us, I don't care who you are, myself included, we all are looking for affirmation. We're all looking for a sign. We're all looking for reasons why we should do this thing. And unfortunately, we tend to look in our surroundings to say, okay, well, do I have some examples of this, examples of that? And the truth of the matter is, it is going to be more likely that you are around a naysayer, someone who's going to say, oh, I don't know about that. That sounds risky. And so when you almost like you're right there, you almost have like the strength to do it. You almost have the courage to do it. And you just need that one little conversation to take you off the edge. The naysayer is going to be like, no. And then ultimately, people are going to tell you why you shouldn't do it, why you should play small, why you should do less. Why? Because they're trying to avoid failure and they want you to do the same thing. And it's not, as I said, it's not even something that they mean to do. The average person is looking to avoid failure and disappointment, and they want to bring other people there like, let's just stay safe. Let's stay safe. Now, listen to this, y'all. There's a difference between wise counsel and a naysayer. Wise counsel usually wants to talk to you about stewardship, meaning before you jump out there, let's count the costs and make sure that you've set yourself up to make this thing work for you. That's wise counsel. A naysayer is, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's not 100% guarantee that this thing is going to work, don't do it. They want to walk the path of not even least resistance, no resistance. Here's the thing. You've never met a naysayer who's doing something new. And typically you don't see a naysayer that's living in a form of abundance. They always just are safe. And there's nothing wrong with that. But guess what? Let's say you're in a place in life where you're like, look, man, I need to win big. Winning big, sometimes you need to take a risk. Sometimes you get to a place to where the steady route ain't going to do it. You got to be willing to jump out there and go for the big fish. And let me tell you, to catch a big fish, you're still got to throw that same rod in. The difference is what you put at the end of that. If you're looking for a small fish, you can put whatever you want in there. But if you want that big bass, you better have something on the end of that thing that's going to catch a bass. But you're going to spend the same amount of time out there fishing anyway. So you get to decide, are you going to get you a little fish like this or are you going to get a big one? A naysayer be like, just get that little small one because the big one, that's going to cost more money. It's going to cost more for the rod. It's going to cost more than that. What if you don't catch nothing? Well, what if I do? All right, number 3. The reason why you have low expectations is that you're too aware of the odds. You're far too aware of the odds without context. You know what percentages of marriages fail. You know what percentages of businesses fail. You know everything that can go wrong. But do you know the odds for the people where it does work out? Do you know the odds for businesses and entrepreneurs who have a successful business, what their lives are like? Have you checked the positive odds? Have you looked for the billion-dollar companies? Have you looked for the very solid marriages and relationships? The good churches, the great organizations? Do you know the positive odds? Did you see how their life changed? Did you check the odds on the benefits of stepping out on a limb? Did you check those odds? And so one of the biggest things that we're missing is people don't put those things into context. I'll tell you this, there are a lot of businesses that fail, but I can say from experience, there's also a lot of lazy business owners. There's a lot of lazy business owners out here. There's a lot of disorganized business owners out here. So we can't just say this percentage fails. Friend, tell us why they fail. Because I can give you some reasons why a lot of people fail, and it were things that were completely within their control. They tell you how stubborn this person was. Oh, let me say, you can't go into your business and cuss everybody out and expect for everyone to stay around and show a lack of appreciation. The odds don't talk about those things. So you have to be willing to take things into context. And here's the thing, if everyone were doing it and everything worked out for every person, then everyone would be doing it and there'd be no opportunity in it. If the barrier to entry is extremely low, then the upside is going to be extremely low too. And this is the last point, is a lack of a clear vision. Many of you guys have a low expectation, not because you're having difficulties with all those other things, but you're trying to run your life day to day without a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is what drives you to do the right things. And here's the thing, you have to have a compelling why. If you don't have a compelling destination, then you have no reason to expect high levels of performance. You don't have any reason to expect excellence. Why? Human beings are driven by purpose. And so the compelling destination gives you a purpose for doing these things. And here's the thing, when you don't have a compelling destination, everything just becomes about survival. How many of you guys wake up excited to survive? I don't know anyone who wakes up excited to survive. Oh my gosh, let me just go ahead and get enough money today to feed myself. Yay, let's get creative. No, you're just like, let me just find a way to get this thing done. No one gets excited to just go out there and try to survive. You have to have a compelling destination. And so when everything becomes about survival, it just becomes like, I'm just trying to pay my bills. I don't have time to think about the future, or I'll do this when things just stabilize, right? But here's the thing, nothing's going to work until you destabilize. You got to destabilize the industry. You got to destabilize yourself. You got to do something a little bit different. You got to get more creative. You got to tap into your intrinsic motivation. You got to put in the extra time. You got to put in the extra study. You got to learn something different. You got to shake some things up. So the truth of the matter is, you may be waiting for things to stabilize, but the truth of the matter is you have to destabilize to create anything. So high expectations require a compelling destination. Without a clear vision, that inner part of you that's driven by purpose has no reason to kick it into high gear. That's why every time you start and you want to do something, you end up back on Netflix. You end up back doing the things where you're just observing life or observing the lives of others instead of living your life, instead of participating in it, instead of creating it. And you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you're not really truly excited about anything, because what you're doing, you've already done. How many of you guys are ready to see something new? What you're doing right now, you've been doing for a long time. What you're experiencing right now, you've experienced over and over and over again. So why would you jump out of bed to go do something that you do every single day? Unless you have a compelling destination. A compelling destination is the thing that gets you excited. It makes all the work worth it. And no one else can give you a compelling destination but you. So I want every single one of you guys, if you are ready to see something new, type new in the chat. I'm ready. I'm ready for something new. Type it in the chat right now, because we're going to get into some of these solutions. And y'all, I understand that a lot of these things, you just want someone to be able to spoon feed you. Here, just do this and everything's going to work out. When people say you got to do the work, this is the work. We are all living life from the inside out, not from the outside in. Things are not going to change when your situation changes. Your situation is going to change when you change. Now, here's the beautiful part. Most people aren't going to do this type of work. So they're going to create a little highway of opportunity for you, because when things are tough, and let's be honest, things are tough right now. Things have been kind of negative for quite some time. Our environment has not been positive for quite some time. And so when things are tough, most people are just going to lay down on the road and just let the truck hit them. And they're going to settle, and their excuse and their reason is going to be, well, things are hard right now. They're going to have every reason as to why they don't have to do it. And that's what's going to benefit you. As we move forward, in the coming months and years, many people are going to give themselves reasons to quit trying. And because they're going to quit, they're going to provide you with more opportunity, because fewer people are going to be participating in the economy. Fewer people are going to be looking for partners. Fewer people are going to be doing all those good things because they would have given up hope. Dave says, yes, new. And y'all continue to like the live, and we're going to get into the solutions. So you have to create a compelling destination for yourself. I'll use myself as an example. I like to make a list at the end of the week of everything that I've taught people. And I put myself in the position where I force myself to do it myself. Meaning I don't want to be a hypocrite. And sometimes when when people say those who can't teach, a big reason being is that they don't hold themselves accountable for doing the things that they teach. And so everything that I teach people that works for them, I put myself in a position to where I just go and do it. And so I looked at, okay, Yanni, you're always talking to people about tapping into your intrinsic motivation. What's going to be the thing that make you get out of bed and go do that thing? Those frames fit you well. Thank you. I just got them from Z-Law. These were like $10 and I love them. So what's going to be the thing that's going to make you jump out of bed and just go do the thing? For all of us, is something different. For instance, for me, I like travel and I like fashion. So one of the things, why the $10 ones? Because they were cute, and I break my glasses all the time. So it's, if you know, like I know I tend to sit on them. I put them at the bottom of my purse. I drop them to where they're on the side of my chair in my car, so they end up cracking. All of those things, right? That's why, because I get tired of replacing glasses all the time. And so when it costs less than $50, I don't cry about it. If they cost $400, I'm mad. So these I can replace 10 times and won't care about it. So anyway, well, actually, that's a lie. They're not $10, because by the time you put the prescription in, they're not $10 anymore. But the frames plus prescription. All right. So anyway, so what I did was I was like, okay, cool. First off, you're planning another trip, another big trip, because I'm the friend that's like plans the trips to Bali, the trips to Cuba, to Nepal. And I was like, okay, I'm putting together a trip for my birthday to Angola, South Africa, and Tanzania. I'm invite my friends. Hey, y'all, the season's back, whatever. Take myself to the mall. All right, what are the things that you want? Da, da, da. And I just created this thing. It's like, all right, you hit your business goals. As soon as you hit them, you're going to press go on all the things that you want, whatever, because I need to create more things to get me excited, and to where things don't just become about being an adult. I need some excitement. Do you get what I'm saying? So B says, I make money to make sure my people are good, and that's my motivation. Great. Now, remember that we are all driven by our subconscious. And the human subconscious has not, and this is crazy to think about, has not matured past the age of 8. And so while you do that, you also need to make sure that you're doing something to feed the little boy inside of you as well. And that's when you tap into deeper levels of creativity, deeper levels of motivation, deeper levels of focus, because that's what you're going to need to create this something new. So everyone needs a compelling destination. What is yours? I just gave you what mine is, but what is yours? So yes, I'm going to pay the bills. Yes, I'm going to save. Yes, I'm going to invest. Yes, I'm going to continue to remodel my house. Yes, I'm going to do all these other things, but I'm also going to Africa and I'm going on a safari, and I'm going to go see lions, tigers, and bears. That's the part that really excites me. The other part is me being mature. Okay, so here are the solutions. We now know why people are dealing with low expectations. If you have low expectations, you're not going to do much. We know why you're doing it. Now we're going to give you why you should raise your expectations and how to do it. The first thing that you need to do, so why you talk to your inner child that way? Because that's how I like to talk to my inner child. Anyway, so The first thing is you need to put things into context, specifically surrounding disappointments. Let me check YouTube's comments. Okay. Specifically around disappointments. And we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So don't feel like I ignored you. Sometimes the comments come a little strange. Put things into context. Without context, all you're left is with the results and ultimately the feeling of failure and disappointment. When I really look at it, I failed at nothing when I put it into context. You usually don't have failing people, they have failing strategies. And you have to look at failure as it should be looked at, which is it's just feedback. And so if you're constantly looking at disappointments and failures that you're a failure, then it's just signs that you have to do more work on your self-confidence. Because a confident person looks at failure and they look at disappointment as information to say, oh, let me do this. For instance, the most valuable review you can receive is a negative review. Because a negative review tells you where you can up your game. That's what failure is. It's just feedback. Based on this feedback, this is how I can remix this thing to get better. The same way someone may say, hey, you are great with this, but you need to work on your jump shot. If you have low confidence, all you want them to do is tell you everything you're good at, but then you'll go to the game and your jump shot is still bad because no one told you you needed to work on it. So the first thing is there's no failing people. They usually just have a failing strategy. And the point of failure is to just learn from it and put together an improvement for strategy. So that way, with every failure, every disappointment, everything you don't like, you just kind of do this. You go back, you remix it, you add it to your strategy, and you just continue to move forward like that. That is how businesses progress. Now, this is what most people do when they get failure. They do this, and then they just move on. It hurts. And they just move on. And then they get stuck in a pattern because they keep making the same decisions over and over again. But the devil's in the details. So you may think, oh, I did this differently, but maybe it's something in the details that was causing the disappointment. So you have to do that. You have to put failure into context. How did this happen? Why did this happen? And what can I do differently? And then you just don't identify with the failure. You just look at it as feedback, you move forward, and that's it. Number 2, you have to make a decision about failure and disappointment. And this is the decision. I'm either going to live an amazing life going after the things that I want that have failure and disappointment sprinkled in there, because I've never seen someone achieve a goal without any disappointment or failure. So I'm either going after the life I want with failure and disappointment sprinkled in there, or I'm going to live a life where I avoid failure. I'm going to live a small life with no failure, no disappointment because I didn't go after anything. You have to make a decision. And you're either going to live on one side or the other side. You're either going to be the person that avoids pain their entire life, and then you end up with the pain of purposelessness and feeling like you're wasting your life and feeling like you've wasted so much time. You've never done anything. You've never been anything, but you live completely safe. Or you're the person that's like, look, I'm going for it. I might get busted up a little bit of time, but I'm going to get a taste of what good is like. I'm going to get a taste of the life that's out here for me. So you have to make a decision about it. You know, for instance, I have friends that don't travel with me because they're afraid of anything going wrong. They haven't been anywhere because they cannot handle the thought of anything going wrong. So they just live their whole life in their hometown or going to the places they've always been. That's not how life works. There's no such thing as a destination where everything always goes well. Number 3, you have to expose yourself to people who are thriving in that area. So let's say you have, you want to be married, you want to be in a good relationship. Hang around people that are in good relationships so you can be exposed to what success looks like in that area. Let's say you want to start a business. Expose yourself to people, hang out with people who are running a successful business. Let's say it's strong mental health, strong spiritual life. Hang out with people who are walking that thing out and doing well with it, who are seeing success spiritually, who are seeing success in their mental health. Spend time around people who've gone through what you've been through and they made it through the other side and they've done it well. Spend time with people who experience that trauma and they're using it for good. And then what you'll do is you'll glean off of that energy. And instead of having constant reminders of how things won't work or can't work, you'll be constantly reminded of how things could. Number 4, read stories and watch stories of victory. Who overcame the odds? How did they overcome them? Every great hero story came from someone who overcame. Sometimes we think that all the odds have to be stacked in your favor to make it work. No, you work the odds and you keep working it until the odds give up. Be like, you know what? Yannick not going to quit. So let's just go ahead and let her have it. She's going to figure this thing out one way or the other. And if she can't figure it out, she's going to find somebody who has figured it out and ask them for the answer. Do you know the answer to number 2? I just can't get the answer. You know what? Yes. Okay, cool. It's not cheating in real life. That's the good thing that's different about school and life. Is in school, if and you're taking a test and you ask someone for the answers, it's cheating. In life, and you're being tested, asking someone for the answer is wise. Okay? Number 5, get back to living. All work with no play makes everyone dull. We are not created to just work. And it's likely that you're running yourself into the ground. I think it was someone was saying that Prince said the word behind recreation is recreate. If you want to get better and to fill yourself up and to start creating new ideas again, creating new energy, creating everything, you got to start living life again. Just as long as it's balanced. Meaning, if all you're doing is recreating, then that means you're not creating anything. You got to recreate and then go create something, go and do something. But get back to living again. Stop finding every reason why you can't live and give yourself reasons to live. Sometimes it's when I go on my last trip that gets me excited about my next trip. Like, oh, this was nice. Like, I remember when I went to Cuba, I was like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to go somewhere else that other people tell me not to go. Because people are like, why would you want to go there? Tried to make me afraid about it, whatever, had the time of my life. So now I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should need to go to some of these other places that are overlooked. Like, I think I might go to Albania in Croatia. So anyway, go back into the mall again. Get back into traveling. Start planning trips. Start going to the games. If you like going to NFL games, go to another NFL game, NBA game. Start talking about the future. Put things on your schedule for you to look forward to. And that it's going to say, hey, I'm working this hard, but it's all going to be worth it when I get to boom. Living life again makes all of the work worth it. Right now, you probably have low expectations because you don't have anything in place that's going to make it all worth it. Number 6, do the thing. Do the thing. What do you mean the thing, Yannick? What is the thing? We all have the thing, that one thing we've given ourselves a million reasons why we shouldn't have to do it. We all have that one thing. Whether it's getting organized, whether it's maybe it's getting the education that you've wanted. Look, Afrocentric, you must be needing to get organized. Maybe it's going to therapy. Maybe, and it could be anything. We all have that one thing that we know we should do, but we've given ourselves a million reasons why we shouldn't have to. I will say this every time with myself and with other people, it has always come down to whether or not they're willing to do that one thing. Every time it's time for you to go to another level of elevation, another promotion or whatever. The reason you aren't there yet is usually because there's something, skill, mindset, habit, information that you have not obtained or demonstrated yet that will allow you to carry the next level. 9 times out of 10, that thing is that one thing, whatever it is. And now it's gotten to the point to where when I speak with CEOs, mentees, organizations, usually now I just try to figure out what's the one thing. I don't even waste time. What's the one thing that they don't want to do that they probably need to do and that they keep trying to avoid? And then instead of getting into trying to find reasons for them not to do that thing, then I try to figure out why do they keep avoiding this? And most of the time it's some sort of fear, or more importantly, it's just become a part of their identity, even though it shouldn't. So just do it. Don't find a reason not to. Find a way to do it, and do it long enough to where not doing it doesn't become a part of your identity. Meaning you get organized and you organize yourself so much that you can no longer, and for long enough to where you can no longer call yourself disorganized. These are the things that people won't tell you. They'll tell you, oh, it's a lack of funding. You had a lack of mentorship. You had a lack of this. But what they're not going to tell you is you've been avoiding that one thing. And the reason you're not getting ahead is because you refuse to do that one thing and you've been stubborn about it. And my last point, turn off the TV, stop the scrolling, and decide to be somewhat delusional. Sometimes you have to be a little delusional to be happy. Meaning you can't be aware of every negative thing that's happening in the world, because that negative thing is what has your attention. You've got to be in a place to where you're hoping for better, you're expecting better, you're doing better. You need to see good things. You need to hear good things. And if that requires for you to disconnect in order for you to carve yourself a piece of happiness, a piece of peace, and a little highway to do that thing, then so be it. So be it. I'm sorry. You cannot create if you're constantly enraged. Just creating comes from God. You got to be you got to be in a high place to do it. I've never seen someone create something beautiful from a place where they're constantly enraged. When they're constantly in a place of, they're feeling anxious. You gotta be in a place where you're inspired, you're motivated, and all these things. And if TV, the news, social media, whatever is keeping you from doing it, then so be it. So be it. And you know what you're truly doing is you're putting yourself in the position to where you have enough to help the causes that you care about. We have enough social media, what do you call them? Social media activists, AKA they do nothing. We don't need any more social media activists. Why? Because they spend all their time activating social media instead of getting some resources to where they can put their money where their mouth is. Hey, you don't like gentrification in your area. You don't like this or that. Hey, go make some money and then start investing in property. Start doing the development yourself. And you don't like the schools that I open up a school. Oh, no. They don't pay teachers enough. Open a school, pay them more. Start the nonprofit. Well, this church, okay, when the last time you gave the church a donation? The one that you like, did you give them the money to be able to do it? They should be able to do that. Donate the van. The world already has enough talkers. Let the talkers do it. We are going to be a part of the group that goes out and does it. We don't need any more mouth activists. Go out there, stay focused to where you have the resources to put it towards the things that you care about the most. And people, I don't know why people get so mad when I say this. Out of all the things that I say, and I can say some things that are triggering, this right here is what triggers people the most whenever I say it, and they hate it. Y'all tell me why they hate it. Because whenever I say it, they get mad, they get hot. We don't need any more social media activists. Whatever you don't like, gain the resources to do something about it. That's how things progress. You see it all the time in communities. They don't like the schools in their community. They don't like what they're teaching them. They open a new school and they all send their kids to that school instead. They put money behind the things that they want. And you can do so too if you were to mind your business more than everyone else's. But most importantly, you have to start expecting more. You got to start dreaming again. You got to start dreaming again. Don't let this world and all the negativity make you stop dreaming, because what that means is you're going to stop trying. And the moment you stop trying for better, you can be easily victimized. Easily. Easily victimized because you won't have the power to do the things that you need to do. So start dreaming again, guys. So I want every single one of you, because this isn't just a listening thing. I want every single one of you to write down one thing out of all the things that I just listed of what you can do. And we already talked about the reasons why people stop dreaming and asking for more. What is one thing and one step that you can take? And this is important because in order for things to change, you have to take knowledge and turn it into wisdom. We are not in a place where there is a true lack of knowledge. Anything that you want to learn, with the same thing that you have in your hand right now, you can learn it. Literally, all the information we need to succeed is at our fingertips. The issue is not in the lack of information. A lot of times the issue is in the lack of mentorship, but mostly the lack of application. The moment you decide you need a mentor, one will just come. What is it out of what we heard today and what you just heard today are you going to implement? Type it in the chat. I am going to boom, 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 boom. Why? Because if you want a different outcome, you have to do something different. Thinking about it isn't enough. Now, here's the thing. The human brain is very, very amazing to where you can think about something and you can imagine it and it will almost be like you did it. You have to use that in your favor, but you also have to know when it works against you. It works in your favor when you start imagining a bigger future. Like I'm already imagining and have been imagining me walking around in my next house. So part of me already feels like I'm in the house. But the other side to it is I have to start doing things differently to make sure I'm in the place to be in that house. I have to. Because my imagination can make me feel like I'm already there. So I have to make that follow up with some real life action. So I'm gonna give you guys a second to type something in the chat. Why do you type it? Because I want it to be written for you. It's the same way as you saying it aloud. I am going to ... Because the moment you put it out here in the heavens, now you're going to hold yourself accountable for it. And it's going to be your first demonstration of not running away from failure. Sometimes we don't call our shot because we're afraid, well, what if I don't actually do it? You're afraid, you're still avoiding disappointment. So I want every single one of you guys, put in there, type in the chat, what is it you're going to do differently? And so what I'm going to do is open the floor for any questions that you guys may have. Whatever questions that you may have. And we'll go from there. And then also too, if you do not know what you want, because this is a big thing. And it actually makes me kind of sad. It makes me kind of sad, but I'm going to put it on here. One of the big things that keeps people from doing this is because no one's ever sat down with you and said, what do you want? What do you want? And usually when I ask people this question, They talk to me about how they want to feel. When I ask one what they want, they say, I don't want to have to worry about money. I want to be able to do the things I want to do. I want to be able to travel. And it's all very like airy fairy. I want to be able to help my mom. I want to help my parents. I want to live in a nice house. And what you want should be so clear that I could like put it in maps, Google Maps, and get there. And so with all of those different things, the big issue is that it's not specific. Human beings and our brains are the original chat GPT. If I put in the chat GPT, tell me how to get something nice, what is it going to tell me? It's going to ask me for something specific. It can't even help me because it's not specific enough. Help me get a nice house. It's going to ask for more context. And so you're sitting around feeling like, man, I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, but you never said where is. Right? I sit with clients all the time. They're like, I want my business to make more money. Well, how much is more? More could be $5. we can't put a strategy together for nice. There's no strategy that says a house. You can go buy your mama a house right now. There's some shacks that you can get for $60. You can buy your mama a house. What's nice for you? Maybe trash for someone else, or what's nice for someone else. You'd be like, this isn't nice. So you have to be okay with pushing towards something that is like, oh, this makes actual sense. So let's say, for instance, you're like, look, I don't know what I want. You can use this. Boom. I have a workbook. If you want a physical copy, it's $35 for this actual physical copy. Print it, nice, mail to you, everything. If you want a digital copy is, this is how much I want people to just go ahead and get the digital copy. The digital copy, actually right now, if you wanted to, let's see, hold on, where is it? Boom. Digital copy is $3. Fill it out and you will have your answer as to what it is that you want. If you don't know what you want, you are going to spend time just kind of doing stuff, paying bills until you figure out what you want. Meaning, you're not giving life any direction. You're not giving life any direction. You're just kind of, and then you're just going to keep going and setting survival goals. And then you'll be disappointment because you're like, why has my life never changed? Because you never gave life any direction. You just kept saying airy fairy stuff. I don't want to have to worry about money. Well, you know who else don't have to worry about money? Homeless people. They can go out and make exactly what they need to eat that day. They don't have to worry about money. Somebody going to feed them. We never think about it like that, but that's what we say all the time. We say it all the time. I just want to be able to travel to where we can go. Look, I'm in Georgia, so we can go from right here to Birmingham and you would have traveled somewhere. Was that what you had to talk about, friends? So when life just takes you to Birmingham and be like, but hold on, why are you not happy? You just said you want to travel. You didn't get specific. Like, I know, okay, I want to go to Tanzania. Well, I'm sorry, 3-trip, Angola, South Africa, Tanzania. So now I have a very specific destination. Now I can go say it's going to cost this. Now I can say, now I can put a strategy together to get there. Boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Now, let's say you want the workbook and you're like, look, I don't want the physical copy. Some of y'all may want the physical copy, okay? I've learned that there's a generational gap between people who want the physical copy and people who want a digital copy. So let's say you know for sure that you want a digital copy. All you got to do is go on my website. All right. And there is a link on my website that says products. Okay. All you do is you click the right fit revenue workbook and workshop, and you will have this product. Actually, right now, if you were to click my website right now and go to products, you can get the workbook for 75 cents. 75 cents if you were to go on there right now. Meaning you're paying enough just to make sure that you actually do it. And I don't even know if that's enough to make you do it, but I haven't changed this. I don't even know how that was up there. I didn't even know it was there. But it does say sale ending soon. So you better do it before it ends. But just hit it and then you'll be able to get the digital copy of it. But you got to know what you want. And so when we think about it like that, if you haven't given life a destination, then how dare you be upset about where your life is? You didn't tell it where to go. So you just kind of going with the flow. And here's the thing, when you go with the flow, you just kind of are accepting whatever life gives you. And for those of y'all who are in ministry, remember, the spirit is subject to the prophet. Where do you want these things to go? Where do you want it to go? It's just sitting around waiting. Okay, tell us what to do. I want you to make things better. Tell us what you want to do. I want to be in a good relationship. Well, you got a good friend. Okay, I'm gonna send you a nice friend. Why she put me in a friend zone? You just said you want a nice relationship. You didn't say you want to be a wife, a good wife. Oh well, I want my business to make more money. Okay, your business made $20 more this week than last week. Why are you not happy? All right. Well, I said I wasn't going to stay on here very long. Let's see. How long have I been on here? Oh, an hour. I passed my time, y'all. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't followed me, go ahead and follow. We're going to do this coffee talk on Fridays. And generally, it's going to be about things that I'm seeing. So this is something that I've been seeing in business and in my sessions and in discovery calls and things like that. So I'm like, look, if it's happening from coast to coast with everyone else, I'm not going to assume that it's not happening with you all. So see you guys later. Again, you can go to my profile, follow me, and you can find my website on my profile, and then we'll go from there. Thank y'all.